Does astrology belong to the 11th house or the ninth house? Hi, I'm Catherine Urban, and I'm an astrologer with over 16 years of astrological practice, immersion, and study. And today I'm answering your questions. And this is a question that I've received quite a bit. And I just received it again recently. So I thought I would reiterate my response here for you. So this idea that astrology belongs to the 11th house is honestly a distortion from the modern astrology revival in the late 19th century. So not to knock modern astrology too much, it has its place, and we are astrologers in a modern time. And so the ability to kind of riff on the tradition is an important piece of our work currently. But the modern revival was very much a tradition disconnected from the millennia continuous tradition of astrology. And what ended up happening was what we now call the 12-letter alphabet, where you have Aries equated with the first house, and Taurus equated with the second house, and Cancer equated with the fourth, and Capricorn on the 10th, and so forth. And admittedly, there are some connections that we could make with those things, like Cancer and the moon being so connected to like the ritual and the comfort of the home. There are certainly a lot of connections we could make there, but Aries is not the first house. Aries is where it is depending on what time you were born. So that's where we can run into a lot of trouble. And one of the signs that really gets jumbled is Aquarius. Aquarius's connection with the 11th house. And the 11th house has to do with groups and networks and being connected to the world at large. And so Aquarius, from a modern context, is considered group oriented, but that's only half the story, because Aquarius is an air sign. It does love people, but it's also ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is a planet of separation and solitude and being separate, like away from people, seclusion at times. And so Aquarius kind of does this dance of being a part of the group and having one foot out of the group and feeling like this outsider, but that honestly being liberating for them. So they are the weirdo. Aquarius is like the lovable weirdo, but they are not just group oriented all the time. So that's one of the distortions that we get. And then the second distortion is that astrology is this Aquarian thing. And I think that comes out of the hippie revival and the fixation with the age of Aquarius and all those really good like hippie vibes that came out of that period. And so people thought that it was revolutionary to practice astrology and this and that. So let's go back to the tradition. The millennia-long trusted tradition would place astrology in the ninth house, because the ninth house is where the sun rejoices. And the sun is Apollo, all-knowing, all-seeing. It's the eye of Horus. It's the eye of the all-seeing eye. Okay, so astrology was considered a science back then. Astrology, like these ancient texts refer to astrology as the sciences, specifically the sciences of the stars. And so the ninth house was oracular, again, with this sun, this all-knowing Apollo, this all-knowing eye was associated with that ninth house. So it becomes a house of knowledge, and therefore all sciences, all higher education, all study, all certification, like the study of physiology, like the body, medical knowledge. And to practice medicine, you had to have some knowledge of astrology for millennia. Like that's certainly not the case now. But the ninth house was the house of knowledge, the house of study, the house of philosophy, spirituality, and yes, astrology. So if you were learned, you had to know how to calculate charts. You had to study it with someone. This was dedication. And astrology is a ninth house thing. And So when we think about it today, like, yes, Aquarius does have a lot of connection with sciences. I will agree with that, like with technology, innovation, and everything like that. But ancient astrology understood Mercury to be the planet most connected to astrology because of its interpretation, the ability to interpret what the planets in the sky mean, to interpret symbols and to translate that. And astrology is a system, it is a language. So Mercury is the planet most associated with it. Second up is Saturn. So Saturn too, because it takes time, it takes dedication, and it takes commitment and discernment. So Saturn is like the runner-up to that. So again, like to bring it back to this like 12-letter alphabet thing where Uranus happens to rule Aries or Aquarius, it just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. So that's my take on why astrology belongs to the 9th house forever and always. It is not an 11th house thing. Now, if you're part of a community, if you're an astrologer and you're part of a community, that can be your 11th house. You're like astrology people. Like I belong to various astrology groups. That's my 11th house. But astrology itself, as a practice, as a study, as a science, is the 9th house. Okay. So if you've got your groups and friends and they happen to be astrologers, then it can be 11th house. All right. So that is my answer to that question. And I hope that helps in some way. All right, take care, everyone. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine. You can also find me at catherineurban.com, where you can schedule your year ahead consultation. I'm offering a new course. Time Lords and Transits begins on August 14th. Right now, you can still get that early bird rate through the end of June. This is an 11-week mentorship where I'm going to teach you everything I know about how to layer annual profections and transits together in order to elevate your understanding of what time it is in your life and in the lives of your clients. So for more information, you can find that at catherineurban.com, where you can also sign up. And I look forward to connecting with you in class or here or in session soon. Bye.